Answer me honestly. Would you still post content today if you knew that after 10 years of doing so, there would still be no YouTube plaque on the wall, no millions of dollars to roll around in, no fame or notoriety to tell you that you've made it? 3,650 days, give or take, of brainstorming, crafting, curating, and posting content. Would all of that time and effort be worth it without hitting those marks? Would you even want to start? Would you consider yourself a failure? Today marks 10 years of me posting on the internet. And there was no viral moment that changed everything. There's no plaque on my wall. I definitely don't have millions of dollars. I'm still far below 100,000 followers on all my platforms put together. So let me ask you, do you think I'm a failure? And don't worry about hurting my feelings. I've been posting on the internet for 10 years. Over the past 10 years, I have started 3 different blogs, 3 different Instagram accounts, 3 different YouTube channels, 2 TikToks, 2 Pinterests, with all of them still technically existing, but getting varying degrees of attention depending on my mood. My original dive into content creation started with a natural hair blog, where I wanted to document taking care of my curly hair and hope that it would help somebody else along their journey. But then when I got super into writing and wanted to document my journey trying to get an agent for my young adult fantasy novel, I started a blog and social media accounts for that. Then when I wanted to document and share everything I had learned as a content creator, I started this account and blog and TikTok and Twitter at the time. Then when I moved here to Hong Kong, I started a vlog channel. And me dabbling in all of these different directions was not me trying to throw spaghetti at the wall and see what stuck. Instead, as a multi-passionate type B creator with undiagnosed attention problems, it was just me trying to explore and tap into my many interests. But of course, anyone with half decent deduction skills will tell you that all of that chaos is exactly why I haven't made it yet. The inconsistency, the pivots, the increasingly diluted niche, that's not a recipe for success. And yet, reflecting on the past 10 years has been kind of crazy. I have accumulated so many opportunities that my mind is really blown, like reflecting on all of them. I've spoken at and attended conferences that I used to watch recap videos of. I've worked with brands like Google, Pinterest, Adobe, Sephora. My camera that I'm filming this video on was provided to me by Nikon Canada. And I probably should have mentioned it earlier, but this year will mark year number 4 that I've been able to do this content creation thing full time. Yes, you can be a full-time content creator without 100,000 subscribers. I put in my notice when I had 10K. And the more I look back on things, the more confident I am that not a single one of those years were wasted. If I had given up creating content in year 1, I would have never been given my father-in-law's old camera and discovered that I really like photography. I would have never featured my mom on my blog or used my newfound skills to highlight the small businesses of my friends. If I had given up in year 3, I would have quit thinking that I didn't have it in me to make money from this thing. If I gave up in my 5th year, Google would have never have noticed me. They would have never invited me to come to Abu Dhabi with them to speak at VidCon Abu Dhabi, where I'd meet friends that would then come to hang out with us here in Hong Kong like 5 years later. Actually, if I had quit, I probably would still be at my day job and therefore wouldn't be living here in Hong Kong. If I had quit in my 7th year, I wouldn't have the global creator community and friendship that I do now. And I wouldn't have got on the radar of a commercial agent and end up acting in a number of commercials. Man, if you could see the future, it would always surprise you. And thinking about all of that, if I were to quit now in my 10th year, just because I didn't have some of those external markers of success, that would be pretty dumb, wouldn't it? It's kind of crazy to stop and think that all of those opportunities, and truly that is like just a fraction of what has made this journey so worth it for me, but that all of that started because one day I decided to start a blog about my hair. And the delusion of just keeping at it in some form or another has allowed for all of this, these crazy opportunities. Such a blessing. And here's the thing about 10 years that nobody talks about. Results compound. Skills compound. Relationships compound. We forget that good things take time to build. Being in the game this long has allowed me to slowly build up foundational trust and relationships with big brands. The very first time I worked with Pinterest, it was unpaid, but now, fast forward 6 years, I have an ongoing relationship with them where I get to partner with them to share resources for creators like you about how to make the most of their platform. It wasn't just an overnight jump from that opportunity to this. It was the compounding effect of organically talking about them and doing other types of partnerships with them that led to this bigger opportunity. Meanwhile, I have watched content creators blow up overnight. Thanks to platforms like TikTok that have this spotlighting effect, that is a very common experience. And there are definitely creators who have managed to turn this viral moment into a sustainable career. But more often than not, the pressure to maintain something or build upon something that doesn't have a strong foundation causes people to not only burn out, but implode and disappear from content creating altogether. And don't get me wrong, I've definitely experienced my share of burnout, but it's really hard to bounce back from it when you skipped the part of the journey where you're figuring out who you are in this content creating space, what you genuinely like to create, and figuring out what you want a content creating career to look like. A lot of these creators have now disappeared, usually quietly. No big goodbye, no notice, just gone. Now, all that being said, I'm not going to pretend like there isn't some collective assumption about what success looks like on social media. People have definitely checked my profiles and made snap judgments on my success. And it is true that aspiring content creators will think twice about posting if the payoff is not going to be exactly what they hoped for. But the problem is that we act like there are only two available outcomes. You either make it by a very specific set of markers, or you failed. But there's this whole massive middle space that we're not talking about enough. People are out here making a career out of this thing at a steady pace, enjoying the ride. And this isn't just about YouTube. It's about how we measure things in our life. How many people have been out here pursuing something for 10 years without a big break that might feel like they've wasted their time, or potentially more upsetting, or being told by other people that they're wasting their time, despite being quite successful if the framing were different. I think about actors who are continually booked, whether it's commercials or side gigs in TV shows or movies, and their bills are paid, but might not be seen as successful because they aren't a lead in a Hollywood box office movie. So would you start creating content today if you knew what the next 10 years looked like? If you knew there were no YouTube plaque or fame and fortune at the end? I would. In fact, I think I'd be really excited about what's to come. If you want to see some of the many ways content creation has changed my life and how I think it could change yours too, watch this next. And I don't know what you're working on. Maybe it's content, maybe it's something else entirely. But if you find you're measuring success against a milestone you haven't hit yet, maybe it's worth reflecting on what the journey has given you so far and what it is you might be missing out on if you were to give up now. Thanks for watching, and until next time.